In this video, I'm going to be going over the basics of how to get started with lighting in the new version of EasyLS. So to get started, if you haven't already, you of course want to get your car model in that you're going to be working with, and you also want to go ahead and open up the Explorer and Property tabs here. You can then go ahead and open up the actual plugin. And then once you are at this screen, you can click on the car that you will be editing. In this case, it's this Explorer for me. And then all you have to do is click Edit Car. We'll then be given two options here. We have the blank button and the default data button. If you do blank, it's going to give you a completely blank slate to work off of. I recommend using the default data. It's going to be perfect for most of your needs, and I'll explain the difference a little bit more in depth once we actually start working with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and load the default data in. And as you can see, a few of the modules are already enabled. That's part of the default data. If you were to do the blank selection, then everything would be turned off by default. But for this video, I'm just going to be sticking to the lighting tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click Modify. Now, before we design any light patterns, I'm going to head over to the Groups tab. And it's important to understand the hierarchy here. Each of these top groups are called your pattern groups, and the children within them are the patterns themselves. The higher the node is in this tree, the higher priority it has. So the way that this is set up entails that my lights, meaning my headlights and high beams, would override my director lights and my main lights. Now this is useful because you can have your stage 1 lights on, and then if you want to put your left director lights on, your left director lights will override your stage 1 lights. It's also important to understand the hierarchy within the pattern groups. The order of which you have your patterns will dictate the order of which they get cycled through. So currently in my keybinds, I have the key J to turn on my main lights. So if I were to press J, it would go to stage 1 first, and then stage 2, and then stage 3, and then off. But I can change that easily by clicking and grabbing and moving any of the other stages above the previous one. And that same logic applies to moving the actual pattern groups themselves. Now, if any of that explanation was difficult to understand, that's perfectly okay. It'll get more easy the more you use the plugin. For now, I'm going to head back to the editor and actually start designing some patterns. The first thing that you're going to want to do is select the pattern that you're actually going to be working on. This list includes all of the patterns that we defined in the Groups tab earlier. For now, I'm just going to select stage 1 to work on. And then I'm just going to click this plus button, and this is going to add a light group. You can have an infinite amount of light groups per pattern. They're useful because you can define different light groups for different light attachments. For example, one light group can be for a light bar and another can be for push bar lights, and so on. Within each light group, you can define the amount of lights that you have, the tempo, and this will change the speed at which it cycles through each of the steps, and the amount of steps that are actually in this group. For this video, I'm just going to do my visor lights. Now looking in Explorer here, you can see on my car model, I have my visor lights named F1 through F8. So that the plugin knows which lights we're actually going to be working with, you just come over to this name field here, and you start typing in the name. And as you can see, autofill will kick in, and all you have to do is press tab, and all of the fields will fill in for you. You now have all of the setup complete, and now I'm going to start designing my pattern. For stage 1, I'm going to do a relatively simple design, but I do want to show you that if you click this settings button here, you can actually change the bulb type itself. If you select DVI, this makes it so that your lights are going to fade in and out. Now in this panel, you can configure the fade time as well as the method, but I like the defaults, so I'm just going to show you how to apply it. You can apply it to the individual light itself, the light group, which would be all of the lights inside of this group, or the entire pattern, or the pattern group. I'm going to do the light group for this example. As you can see, the lights are fading in and out. If you want to make it more distinct, you can turn down the tempo. And there we go, we have our stage 1 complete. I'm going to quickly design the rest of the stages, but if at any point you want to add more light colors, all you have to do is go to the configuration page, and you can add more colors. Now that I have all of the patterns that I wanted to design done, all I have to do is go up to this File button and click Export. All of the scripts automatically get generated, and now you can test out your lighting design. I have my keybind set to J, so I'm just press that. And there's stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. One more important part about lighting, especially if you use Lightos, you can come to this config tab. This setting allows you to toggle part visibility. What that means is when it is on, the part will be invisible while the Lightos texture is flashing. If you turn it off, the part will also flash along with the Lightos texture. And that should be everything that you need to know to get started with EZLS. Make sure to join the Discord server if you have any questions, and there's going to be some more tutorials on the way, so look out for those.